something stirring in Iowa's countryside. On this secluded farmstead called Aurora Farms, owner Dawn Hunter swirls a mysterious mixture she says is good for growing fertile soil. It's made of stream water, cow manure, eggshells, and salt. She says fertility can be chemical-free.
Oftentimes when we're doing this, we are in silence, and I'm often just thinking about the fertility of the land and how much I love the land.
When she's done stirring, it's time to coat the countryside. Hunter is not the only farmer going to such trouble to farm naturally. She uses biodynamic practices that date back to the 1920s and that are still popular in pockets of America today.
I think it's a building intelligence within the soil. You're nurturing the microorganisms and you're nurturing subtle aspects of the farm environment, and I feel committed to maintaining that.
Hunter's hope is that everything that lives on the farm is helping something else to grow. Her chickens get their run of the farm, but in turn give eggs and droppings that Hunter uses for compost. She collects water from her stream, keeps bees, and gets manure from a neighboring dairy. It's a lot of work by anyone's standards, even for a certified organic farmer. In fact, it's what she calls beyond organic.
If someone doesn't know at all what biodynamics are, they might say to us, well, what is this? And we would say, well, you have a general idea about organics. This is like even more. This is going beyond organics, using even more stewardship of the land and more intention and practices to support health of the soil.
Hunter says she focuses beyond the absence of chemicals and into how she can use nature to her advantage. Farmers across the state are doing the same and using this term to describe their methods. A survey of farmers markets from eastern to central Iowa showed that out of 120 farmers, 11% called themselves beyond organic. A little less than that, 8%, said they were certified organic. Of the remaining vendors, about 75% had heard of, read about, or knew a beyond organic farmer. One conventional farmer commented, "It's a market that needs to be met, but I have no interest in doing it myself." A certified organic farmer wrote, "It's a joke." Not all welcome beyond organic as a food movement, especially those who worked hard to establish the certified organic label. On the Iowa State University campus in Ames, this is clear to see.
There isn't anything that you could say is above certified organic standards. The standards are very high.
Organic specialist Kathleen Dellett said she's leery of the term beyond organic, saying it confuses the issue.
I can't publicly advocate that people create their own group that's outside the USDA accredited certification / definition of organic agriculture.
Hunter says organic does have its own set of problems.
I think beyond organic was maybe a nebulous term. How far beyond organic and in what ways beyond organic and all of that.
Hunter uses the term beyond organic out of convenience, but by claiming to exceed organic, a federal program enforced by the USDA, she is essentially challenging the quality of the standard. Federal regulations for marketing products with a certified organic label prohibit farmers from using chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and herbicides on the farm. It has also ruled out antibiotics, growth hormones, and non-organic feed for livestock. When the USDA first released the standards in 1997, regulations allowed use of genetically modified organisms, irradiation, and processed sewage sludge for fertilizer. These practices were banned in 2000 after a public protest. But critics still say the standard is watered down. A host of synthetic ingredients are allowed in organic production, and purists say that profit motive has muddled the philosophy of organics. At a corn milling facility in Cresco, Iowa, one can see both the pros and cons of organic farming gone mainstream in action. This facility is owned by Synopta, a big player in corporate organics. Synopta Cresco can turn out 20 million pounds of organic corn per year. Their biggest client, Frito-Lay, uses the corn for its natural Cheeto line. Plant manager Julie Dietzenbach sees big companies' interest in organics as positive for the consumer.
People are getting into healthy eating and they might want their snacks, but yet at least these are providing organic, healthy snacks.
Dietzenbach can only buy corn from farmers who qualify for the USDA organic standard. And to her, the essence of organics is simple.
A conventional farmer might just go out and spray a field with Roundup Ready. The organic farmer doesn't get to do that.
SunOpta's producers can get anywhere from $200 to $400 more per acre of organic corn than for conventionally grown corn. And Dietzenbach said this gives farmers the incentive to certify.
The prices have definitely put the interest out there. There has been that differential between conventional and organic. The organic farmers, they're wanting to do it. So there is definitely the group of farmers that they still focus on it no matter what. But like I said, price is still a factor. Everything comes down to money no matter what for people.
That's why even a beyond organic farmer like Hunter says that certification has its place in organics.
I mean, I know there's organic farmers out there that really are doing it for the monetary return. And if they didn't have that standard there, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be doing the organic practices.
SunOpta tests each load of corn it buys for GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, using an inexpensive quick strip test.
We're showing that it's picking up traces.
The company only accepts corn with less than 0.7% GMO contamination. But it's the job of close to 100 agencies abroad and in the U.S. of enforcing organic practices, including use of pesticides, and farmers can use any agency they like.
Our farmers can use a vast array of different certifying agencies that they prefer to work with. There's several small ones, state ones, different agencies. So as long as our agency is, okay with their agency, we can take anything.
SunOpta says that certification ensures that they get corn of the highest quality.
We have to rely a lot on, those organic inspections.
Advocates of certified organic point out that SunOpta supports thousands of organic farmers who are taking chemicals and GMOs off the land. SunOpta alone buys half of the organic soybeans grown in the United States. But SunOpta's success also signifies organics move into the mainstream, a fact celebrated by some, but not by all. All farmers need is the USDA label on their products to sell it organically, and it sells for 20 to 100% of the price of conventional food in grocery stores. But the price difference could be an incentive for the industry to misrepresent itself, and it raises the question whether certifying agencies are effectively policing the industry for fraud. Many say they are not. The National Organic Program accredits certifying agencies to inspect farms, but a 2010 USDA audit revealed troubling trends such as poor enforcement, failing to punish operators that violated rules, lack of pesticide residue testing to ensure farms are chemical-free, even though organic law requires it, inconsistency, agencies that vary in how they punish violators, and slow complaint processing, taking too long to act on tips from the public of alleged fraud. On a windy fall afternoon near Fairfield, Iowa, an organic inspector makes his annual rounds of Maharishi University organic farms, where food is grown for the campus cafeteria. The farm has been certified since 2002. Since then, Steve McClaskey, director of the farm and biology professor at the university, has seen his share of inspectors.
There's a wide range of inspectors. Some are very thorough and want to see all the records, and some just have a look around and you wonder what they're looking at.
And McClaskey's not alone. A neighboring farmer noticed the same phenomenon while working as manager of delivery and sales.
It sort of seems like they come for 20 minutes, half hour, they walk around, they ask if I spray here, they ask if I spray there. No. I'm like, all right, that'll be $2,000.
These annual visits are scheduled in advance, giving farmers the chance to prepare. Inspectors are supposed to make sure farms only use organic materials, check that they have sufficient buffer zones between non-organic neighbors, and have a crop rotation in place to maintain soils.
Organic.
They also perform an audit trail using receipts to track what's been planted and what's been sold to make sure they match. Kanan Rice, an organic inspector in Iowa, says the audit is the most important part of his job, at least in principle.
Most of the inspectors have not followed the audit trail from seed to delivery as thoroughly as this inspection did.
In fact, there are maybe incentives for some inspectors not to be so thorough. Rice said that less professional certifying agencies often get business because they go easier on their farmers.
So if one certifier can do that for less money than another, well, basic economics tells you they're probably going to choose the easier certifier and the less expensive certifier.
Agencies pay out of pocket to test for pesticide residues or to make unannounced visits, both suggested by the program but not required.
Never been asked to, never have.
But there are organic farmers who welcome stringent agencies. Andrew Dunham of Grinnell Heritage Farm chose a nonprofit agency because he knew it to be more rigorous.
I want to be held to a pretty high standard. Like, I want my auditor to come in and know what the heck they're talking about.
This is the case for many dedicated organic farmers. But Rice says some farmers only have dollars in mind and not strict agencies.
I'd say there's about a quarter of them who are only in it because there's a premium.
Will Fantle, co-founder of a watchdog group that supports organic agriculture, addressed these same motivations seen on a corporate level at a standards board meeting in Madison, Wisconsin.
Some of these companies don't necessarily have the same interests in mind and are solely interested in putting a product out there that has an organic certification or seal on it, and they don't care how it got there.
Yet Dunham still thinks the third-party audit provides the most quality assurance available today.
Unless you have that third party, the people just have to trust you.
McClaskey says he takes it upon himself to maintain the purity of the standard.
The big interests are interested in weakening the standards so they can do whatever they want and call it organic and get away with it. It's the dedicated organic farmers who really want to do it right, who need to be vigilant to make sure that the USDA doesn't give in to those big interests and weaken the standards.
Some farmers resist certification because of these big interests, but Rice says it's often the paperwork that drives them off. Out of more than 200 farms that lost certification in 2010, 90% were related to paperwork and fees, according to organic program records.
A lot of farmers really despise paperwork. They're really, really good at growing things, but they're not good at keeping record of that.
Farmers like McClaskey are especially disadvantaged. He grows more than 50 varieties of vegetables and must track all of his planting and selling. Row crop producers, on the other hand, plant once and sell once.
They might plant twice a year, once for corn and once for soybeans, and I'm planting almost every week of the year.
Small farmers agree that the certified organic label has stretched to accommodate a wide range of practices, instead of the uniformity the founders of organic hoped for. Beyond Organic can be seen as picking up where certified organic leaves off. The practice has taken original organic principles, including ideas about animal welfare, social justice, and biodiversity, and melded that with a local philosophy of improving neighborhoods and communities. In an Old Order Amish community in Bloomfield, Iowa, Robert Yoder has created his own Beyond Organic haven, raising cows and chickens. Yoder uses portable fencing to bring his animals to fresh pasture twice a day, a labor-intensive method called mob grazing. The method is designed to create nutrient-dense meat and to build the health of the soil. He says his neighbors tease him for spending so much time moving fences, but he brushes them off.
Other people buy exercise bikes and treadmills and stuff like that, and I like get mine for free, and I get paid to do mine.
Yoder learned about Beyond Organic from Joel Salatin, a farmer from Swoop, Virginia, who appeared in the documentary Food Inc. Salatin has also published a number of books, including You Can Farm, which Yoder read with interest.
It made so much sense reading that it just blew my mind.
Yoder's farm is animal welfare approved, a free certification program through a nonprofit that requires all animals be raised on pasture. Yoder frequents the farmers market in Fairfield, Iowa, and has many regular customers.
When I got to talking to Robert, I knew he was very passionate about what he did.
Another customer was drawn by his sign, grass-fed.
The cows are happy. They're eating what they're supposed to be eating.
At another farmer's market in Des Moines, Jill Bebout of Blue Gate Farm sells Beyond Organic produce and jam. She is one of more than 200 vendors who gather at the farmer's market to sell to their customers face to face.
We want to have that connection to them, and we want them to have that connection to their food.
Bebout says selling locally is a big part of being Beyond Organic, but so is their zero tolerance of chemicals.
We don't even use organically approved chemicals on our farm. We use no chemicals of any kind, period.
She decided against USDA certification, but is certified naturally grown, an alternative program tailored to small local farmers.
Hi there.
Bebout sells all of her produce directly to her customers, but some sell locally through grocery stores or cooperatives. Wheatsfield Co-op in Ames prides itself on its local and organic fruits and vegetables. The market pays certified organic farmers 20% more for their produce, but will often pay those higher prices for local produce as well because customers demand it.
They want their food to tell a story, and it can when it comes from a farm that you could walk to, or you could ride your bike to if you wanted to.
Wheatsfield only buys produce from farmers who use organic practices, but even so, they must by law keep it separate on the shelves to avoid contamination.
They're not certified organic, then I have to be really, really cautious that that produce doesn't touch other produce.
Although less convenient for Calder, he respects these farmers' philosophy.
My local farmers who don't want to become certified organic, they're in it for the food, for the community, for what it really represents. And yeah, I would have to say, yeah, they're beyond organic. They understand that it's more than just to make money, that it is a way of life. You're trying to leave something for the future, and that's more important to them.
These farmers often sell through community-supported agriculture, or CSA, where customers pick up a box of vegetables weekly throughout the growing season. Farmers Tanya and Doug Webster run a CSA offering everything they can grow on their hillside farm in Sigourney. The Websters bought their land with a family inheritance and named it Rolling Prairie Acres. They soon learned about organic practices and quickly began planting vegetables and an orchard, following organic principles. As their production grew, they considered certification, but ultimately dismissed it.
I would rather have been reading my baby a bedtime story than to be going through that paperwork. And that's what it came down to, is just simply life choices that we just could not see spending all of that attention on all this ridiculous paperwork.
They say what makes them beyond organic are the diverse varieties of heirloom seeds they grow, with genetics that have been preserved for many decades. They grow more than 50 varieties of heirloom tomatoes.
Be diverse and have tomatoes.
They say heirlooms have superior flavor and quality to the organic hybrid tomatoes that are available at the grocery store.
I want to grow something that's absolutely thrills me. And that's what I want my customers to have. Something they cannot pick up at Hy-Vee.
They have an orchard, keep their own goats, pigs, bees, and a multitude of vegetables. Each of their children has his or her own plot they tend to.
To see the fruition of a planted seed all the way to harvesting the bounty, that is good stuff. It's a great legacy for us.
Certification doesn't fit into the Websters' vision of the hillside they will leave to their children.
So that's the important thing, is to work as a family.
The growing ranks of farmers aligned with the Websters see Beyond Organic as a place where their philosophy is safeguarded, where their legacy will be determined by no one but themselves and the land they leave behind.